Carnivorous Plant Help here. I almost said California Carnivores. That's hilarious. Carnivorous Plant Help here. I am here to do a live, and what I thought I would do today is teach you about when you get your new plants. And the reason why I said almost said California Carnivores is because I want to talk to you today about what happens if you get a new plant and it looks like it's already starting to die. Um, what does that mean, right? And how you can work through that. I made a long form video, but I know that not a lot of people necessarily watch long form videos, and so I want to do what I can to help out in that regard. Holy crap! I just have an empty pot over here. I didn't even think about that. I didn't even see that. Well, that's wasted. I could put something in there. Anyways, um, so yeah, I want to kind of talk through that, and I hope everybody's doing well. If you have any questions for me, don't hesitate to ask along the way. Um, it's interesting. I'm completely perplexed as to why I have an empty pot over here, but okay. I probably potted it up at one point to try to put something in there and then completely forgot all about it. So um, let's look through the plants. Let's talk about them, see what's all going on. Um, as you can see, uh, everything is sort of in a state right now. And so let's talk about you get a brand new plant. And let's say you get it from a place like California Carnivores, right? It's going to be, um, it's going to be in its own conditions. Hey, how's it going? Talking about today, just literally having fun, just having a good time. Um, and then also talking about what happens when you get brand new plants from areas and how you handle their transition and why they may or may not die on you at the beginning. But honestly, we can talk about really anything you want. This is more just easy going vibes. I haven't been on live on YouTube in a while. It seems like maybe it's been like 4 or 5 days, but for me, it seems like a while. Just thought I would hang out. That is so awesome, dude. You're gonna have to let me know how it comes in, how it looks. Perfect. There. Topic of conversation is just make sure you do your research on how to take care of it first thing as soon as you get it. That way, you're able to give it the care that it needs right from the jump, because it is going to be stressed out. But they if I think you said you're getting it from California Carnivores, right? And if so, it'll be packed really nice. At least they do a really good job. Here's some more of the Sarracenias, all doing well. You know what's crazy is I was just looking back at some videos. Oh, perfect. I can't wait to see that unboxing video. That's going to be fun. I was looking back at this bog that wasn't even at the beginning of this spring growing season, and this was completely like empty. And just to see the way it looks now, um, which is kind of disheveled, but so am I. So I guess it works out. Um, but I can't wait to put even more and more um, separation out of these. No, I don't have any darling Tony, unfortunately. Being here in Florida, you can grow them in Florida, but they like very cool roots. They generally grow off of the mountain runoffs that come off from the mountains. I could put a setup together using a cooler and stuff like that, but it gets so unbelievably hot here in Florida. Like, it's just now June, and in May it was like 97 degrees every day. That I just don't want to try to deal with that. I would love to have them. They're amazing plants. But there's a guy on YouTube. His name is Todd's Carnivorous Plants. He grows Darlingtonia out of a cooler, but he's like super good at like and stuff. So he built like his own like water pump system using an ice maker or whatever, and his Darlingtonia are growing like crazy. You can go check him out. Like he's a I don't know that he specializes in that necessarily, but he's just really good at that stuff, and so his looks amazing. He did like all tissue culture, and they grew so fast. Dianeas, yeah. So cultivars, I've got probably 60 or so. They're over there. I wish I could get over there, but the video starts to break up. These are all typicals. Um, these over there with my piles of peat moss I need to throw out, and my little bird. is all giant fly traps. So you've got, oh, nice. Rose, that's an awesome, awesome plant. Yeah, these are all cultivars. So I've got like 50, maybe 60, because there's some in here too. I love the cultivar, but I also love the typicals as well. Um, yeah. Let me know if this video is starting to break up, by the way. For whatever reason, it doesn't, the internet does not like this corner of the yard. The Venus flytraps do though, and so that's what counts. But these are all typicals. This one's probably going to end up being, it came in as a typical, but it is definitely anything but typical. Super red compared to everything else. See, and then it gets fuzzed, fused tooth, and then it gets red on the petioles, and it gets all sorts of crazy stuff. That is a crazy plant, but they are the actual named cultivars over there. No, unfortunately, no. They're, I gotta get back in there. You would be probably not happy to see the state of the Nepenthes. Like I said, I gave most of them away just because the the shed that I was growing it in, man, it was getting. I was having to keep that shed running like nonstop because of this Florida heat, and so a lot of the plants I had were intermediates, and they will do okay. But I just wanted to kind of give them better homes, so I rehomed all of them, and then just started focusing more on intermediate or temperate rather. Um, Carnivorous plants and haven't looked back. I just love them so much, and they're so much easier and so much more conducive to grow here in Florida. Certainly, there's even big Nepenthes nurseries in Florida, but um, just I was also running out of space. Some of them were getting enormous, and so it was there was a couple hundred in that grow tent, and it took over pretty quick. So I thinned it out quite a bit. So I may end up getting back into it, but for now, I'm more on the temperate side. Fun fact: this one right here, you can still see some of the remnants of it, but this is all dead. This got scale, and I was able to kill it. But as you can see, these little boogers stick on there pretty good. Bio Advance 301. If you ever get scale or thrips or anything, Bio Advance 301 will kill it. Now, if you do end up getting scale, make sure that you get the little, they look like little army tanks off of here, um, because what they do is they dig into the plant itself, and the biovents will kill them, but their little shells will stay on there. Here is a Sarracenia leucophila, or at least maybe a morii. Or all this was open pollinated, so it's hard to tell until they get bigger. That is growing out. Um, the Stylidium debil or trigger plant is going absolutely crazy. So if you do, pests are, well, here in Florida, yes. I don't know about everywhere else, but here in Florida, pests are very, very common. Especially if you have capensis, things like that. You'll get aphids quite a bit, but it's easy to treat. But yeah, and so I'd say the most common pest that you have to watch out for are mites. Spider mites specifically, and aphids. And then I have not seen many with other pests, but those, yeah, here in Florida, everything wants to eat everything. Everything wants to kill everything. It's crazy. It's like the Australia of America. Um, like literally, just not even 6 feet from here, I got bit by a big freaking spider a couple months ago, right on my leg. Just walking, minding my own business, thing jumped up on my leg and bit me. Um, no superpowers, unfortunately. Just a hurt leg. I was just looking at this. I'm so perplexed by this. I must have started planting a pot and then just stopped because nothing's grown in there. I mean, there is always a chance that something died, but I doubt it because everything in here is Banana. Banana is basically very hard to kill. But now I have a free pot to plant something with peat moss in it. And so I definitely will be adding some more Banana in there. Here are the purpurea starting to grow out like crazy. Um, they are still a long ways. Look at this Micheliana. Isn't that cool? Look at the red lip on that. Pretty. I gotta get out here and weed. That's the thing about living in a place like Florida, is it once the rainy season hits, which we're hitting now, everything grows extremely fast. Like, look at that weed. Everything grows extremely fast, and so you got to stay on top of it. For whatever reason, weeds love peat moss. It doesn't care whatsoever that it is inert. It will take over. They don't. The carnivorous plants don't seem to mind it too much. It's just a little unsightly. So I try to get in here, take it out. Here's some more. This right here is called cinnamon fern, if anybody wondered. Just here are the things that so many people love to see. These are little baby Sarracenia. The killer pineapple reducta. Yeah, I want to get some of those. They're pretty awesome. I got a friend of mine that's offered to send me some. I should take her up on it. Those are amazing. There's several different bromeliads that are carnivorous. That one's probably the most circulated, and one of the coolest ones. I definitely would like to get some. It is very good with long fiber sphagnum moss. And yeah, I could grow lowland definitely out here, lowland Nepenthes. The only problem is Florida. Lately, the last couple of years, will go from like the surface of the sun, and then all of a sudden, during the winter, we'll get down into like the low 20s, which for the rest of you of the world is probably laughing, thinking for me thinking that's cold, but for lowlands and for me, that's freezing. Um, let's see. This one right here is still working on that beetle. It's taking its time. Yeah, Nepenthes Black Miracle is amazing. I love Ampullaria in general. The cool thing about Ampullaria, by the way, is it is one of the few, if not the only, Nepenthes species that will also eat. Um, it will eat carnivorous plants, but it'll also eat leaves and stuff. Sarracenia minor, I've heard mixed reviews on. I've heard that it can be easy to grow, but I've also heard that it's a little bit grumpy. I'm definitely going to be getting some this year. Um, Here in Florida, I think I should have some good luck with it. I have heard mixed reviews of it, but for the most part, I've heard that it's similar to just growing regular Sarracenia. Now, it absolutely poured yesterday. So, I mean, when I say torrential poured, I mean poured. Fine. Once the soil, it's very hard. So I was nervous about these. So I'm trying something different this year. Yeah, cephalotus is definitely super grumpy. Um, yeah, I haven't even. I've just stayed away from it, just because I don't want to deal with the crown rot and everything. So here's Stylidium debil, which is a depends on who you ask, is a proto carnivorous. I think it's carnivorous, but proto carnivorous. Now look how cool this is. So this has only been in this little peat bog slash kiddie pool dirt in it for oh gosh, I don't know what. You guys probably know this better than I do. Probably like 2 months. But look at all the runners. Look at all the tiny. This stuff, I'm telling you, I I don't have real data to prove this, but just going off of feelings, I strongly believe this is faster than weeds. I mean, this stuff grows so freaking fast. It's insane. I mean, look at it all over here. Um, that's awesome. Awesome, awesome. I would love to be able to see them in the wild one day, maybe one day. But yeah, this Stylidium debil, by the end of this growing season, this entire kiddie pool, which is probably 4 feet around, I suppose, will be completely packed to the gills with this stuff. I mean, it grows so fast. If you want Stylidium debil in your collection, just know somebody told me like, don't plant it in your bog. It'll spread. And I was like, nah, I'm good. And so I planted it in the bog, and then yeah, which I'm totally fine with. I think it's awesome ground cover. But yeah, here is, I believe, I got it mixed up, but I'm pretty sure that's Capensis Hercules right there. growing, which is very odd because it does not like high heat. But I guess it's being protected enough that it's decided that it's going to come back. I thought that, well, putting it out here would be pretty much dooming it, but it seems to be doing quite well. Here looks like this is going to be Tracei Bruce. It's small now, but it will get quite large. Yeah, so this Stolidium debil, if you do get it, I do recommend it. It's an amazing plant, and you see it's starting to flower already. Um, oh, it doesn't multifida. You could literally take this big right here, like, and just split it. Multifida is an insane plant. They're not supposed to be. They're supposed to be sterile, but something's happening in here that is not sterile. They're replicating like crazy, which I'm totally fine with. But yeah, multifida, extremely easy. This looks like Marston's dragon here. All the multifida, however you want to pronounce it, grow like weeds. And so you can do leaf cuttings if you want. You can put them in water. You can put them just on soil, which is what I did, and just keep the soil moist, and it will grow like crazy. But yeah, it doesn't have to be big at all. You could literally take this little leaf right here, just cut that all off. Well, so yeah, as far as making more plants here, let me show you an example. So here's a good example. Um, this right here is from a root pulling. See how that looks? You can tell root pullings are going to be your number one thing. See how full that is? This is from the plant sitting off runners. And so it doesn't have to be this big, but this one is a good size to show you. It's starting to send off these runners, see? But this, if you pull a root off and stick it in the ground, root off, okay, and you put it in the ground, it'll push out a ton like this. That's a clear sign of root. I know that not just because I put them there, because that's what it does. Be forewarned, if you do grow a large carnivorous collection with a lot of bogs, you're going to be weeding a lot. But yeah, they oh, okay, I see what you're saying. I'm so sorry. All right, so yeah. Let's talk about that. So most of them, when they're smaller, you're talking about the forking of the leaves. Most of them, when they're smaller, will only send up. Like, here's an example. Sometimes they don't even have to be smaller. Like, this is a pretty good size plant, but this is a. See here how it's sending up just two, right? But it's really a Marston's dragon. So it's not necessarily the size. Let's see if I can find another one. Here, let me see if I can find you one to show you. Here's a good example. So this little guy, they're going to come up like this. They're going to come up as forked, just T forks every time. And then once they get about, let me see if I have another one to show you. Once they get about, give them about 5 months or so, and they'll start spreading out pretty quick. But all of them are going to start. So like, here's a good example one. So here is one that's probably about 2 inches, 3 inches tall, and then this one's not much older, but see, it's already starting fork. Even though it looks much larger, it isn't that much older. So here's one again. See how it's T formed, and all of a sudden it goes. So give it about 4 or 5 months, and it should start sprouting for you, or breaking off and branching. And then the older it gets, the more it'll do it. But they always tend to. I don't know if it's a mutation or something like that, or lack thereof, but they'll always put out T form forks for you, no matter what. Here's a cool one. This one is a dichotoma giant, I believe. Actually, this might be a giant. No, this is dichotoma giant. Right now it looks like Marston's dragon, but this gets enormous. Everything. These flowers are probably twice as big as the other ones. But yeah, pretty cool stuff. Um, this is a fun one to get in your collection if you don't have it. This is called a Floridana, Filiformis floridana. It stays all red, um, and it is fertile, so all these seeds will spread, which is fun. It will go dormant, doesn't need to, but it will. Grows on the, you actually can see them like on the beaches in Florida up north. This one is doing just fine. The Sarracenia, look at this beauty. Isn't that gorgeous? I love. Um, you can get some butterworts to grow with Sarracenia. Antia is one that grows very well with them. I'll have to see it, but I don't really collect butterworts too much pinguicula. But when I say too much, I don't have any currently in my collection. I used to have some, but Gigantea will grow really well with it, and then I think it's called Prolifera will also grow well in bog gardens. I gotta get in here and weed all this stuff. Yeah, but a lot of them, those are going to be more the boggy sort of marshy ones. Some of the other ones you get into need more of an arid soil type of mix. Gigantea is really cool because it gets enormous leaves on it. It is one that I want to add to my collection here soon, but I just haven't had it yet. The thing about carnivorous plants is it seems like a hobby. Thankfully, I'm thankful for this, but it's a hobby that never ends, right? Um, yep, yeah. Sundews, they spatulata is one that grows a lot. Yeah, the low-lying sundews, they all kind of grow together with the. You'll find that a lot of the, so you'll find sundews, you'll find Sarracenia, um, pinguicula. They'll all kind of sort of grow together. Probably they are all developed differently through convergent evolution, but they probably figured out all in the same area pretty quickly that they were going to have to come up with a plan B as far as getting nutrients, and so that's probably why you find them so clustered together. Is that they were probably all making that transition, evolutionarily speaking, all at the same time, and it just happened to coincide with each other. These little Venus flytraps in here. I just love seeing little Venus flytraps poking out. Now you got to be careful with that because they will, like there's one in here I'm going to have to transplant because they will get um, sort of shaded out and get very weak on you. You can grow Venus flytraps at the base of Sarracenia just like this, but if you want the Venus flies to be strong, you're going to want to move them on down the road. Like I've got some in here. I think it's this one. Oh, here they are. Some little baby Venus flytraps down there. Do I grow a lot of? The thing is, all of my Sarracenia, I have a dear friend of mine that sends me tons of seeds, and so I'm so thankful for that. They're all open pollinated, so there's really it's very difficult for me to tell um, if anything is pure species or not because he usually just puts it in a big clump, which I'm totally fine with. And so, as far as Sarracenia go, everything has been grown from seed, and I may end up collecting species eventually, but I just love. There's something about a Sarracenia; they grow fast enough for me. Like these are all a year old, that I don't mind growing them from seed, and I just kind of throw them all together, and whatever comes out of it comes out of it, and it's such a cool experience. Like a Venus flytrap takes so long that it almost, for me, it's like you lose track of the fun because it can take 7 years for it to fully mature. But with a Sarracenia, I mean, some of these will be almost full size within a year. It's insane. Others won't. Others will be real tiny, but you can already start to see their characteristics and colors. And so for me, they're so much fun. But all that talking to say, um, I grow them open or I get them open pollinated. So there are a whole bunch of different things, probably all hybrids. There are some Oreophilas in here that are pure, and then some Roseas somewhere in this whole mass that are here. But yeah, I'll have a lot more to do on that. I'm hopefully going to get another couple of rounds of seeds from them. I think the last time he gave me a couple, maybe 1,000, maybe more, and hopefully I can get some more. And I tend to grow them. So I know a lot of growers grow them, like incubate them and grow them really in very climate controlled conditions, I like to just throw them out here. Yeah, that's awesome. I have never where I live. We tend to only get Venus flytraps, but I tend to grow them Sarracenia sort of out in the open from seeds all the way up because my idea is if they can survive that first crucial time period, then they're going to be the strongest. And so, unfortunately, the problem with that is I don't get as big of a yield as I would if I sort of grew them climate controlled. But the ones that I do get are going to be very strong. I don't want to repot any of these during the growing season, but some of them may not give me a choice. Like some of these are so full that I don't want them to start killing each other off. And so I may end up having to transplant some of these soon. Um, some of them will be fine, but oh, nice. That's awesome. Yeah, finally they're starting to realize maybe enough of us videos about these death cube plants, they'll actually start to them like they're supposed to. Just come in here and do a little trimming. These are all completely wasted, by the way. Here's the thing about Sarracenia, Venus flytraps in general. Man, I just pulled that right off the rhizome. Um, they die from the top down, and so they're still like this one, even though it looks icky, is still very good and will continue to grow just fine. Um, yeah, 100%. Um, gosh, I got to really get in here, guys. I'm gonna have to spend a good afternoon just getting all these weeds out because the other thing will happen, especially here in Florida, if they get too dense, see right here, it's not going to really necessarily hurt the plant. It would hurt seedlings, but you see this mold, right? That's because not enough airflow is getting there. And so it's important that you get these weeds out and then get some of these dead pitchers out so that it doesn't, again, it's not going to really hurt your larger pitchers. It does look unsightly, but more so it's going to hurt. Like if you have any baby seedlings in here, it's going to potentially cause them not to make it. And so, and in here, I mean, there's literally hundreds, if not more, Sarracenia. It may not look like it, but I mean, this pot alone, they're all down in there. I tend to like to grow my plants a lot more natural than a lot of growers, and that's not a good or bad thing. Some growers have them very like, I mean, just everything is perfect, and I applaud them for that. I like to see the plants sort of in their natural state and with all their blemishes and everything else, and I like to see them all growing together. My goal is, and my hope is to move away from these sort of swimming pool things to more of a actual natural bog, and I want to turn this whole area in here into a big sort of meandering bog and just have them all sort of in their own thing. I'll probably put the Venus flytrap separately. It is a tough one to grow, and it's very, even though it looks, Hamada looks very tough, the pitchers are paper thin, and so they can be very susceptible to their conditions. Absolutely. By the way, how are you guys doing? Is everybody doing good? Everybody's collection's going nice. This is what you don't want to happen. See all this stuff? This is already full. Drosera is fine, but I need to get in here and get all this crap out of here. I probably need to. I'm probably going to break this up and split this in two. See, there's two plants in here, probably more. Put one in there. Drosera is one of those you can basically dig up at any point during the year. Look at that big freaking root or a big weed. That's awful. Yeah, weeds love um, this peat moss, man. If you grow carnivorous plants, especially if you get a bog, actually Matt Soper, I was watching one of his videos and he said that he's like, be prepared to weed. It's crazy how these weeds are able to grow in these conditions where there's no nutrients. You would think that that would only be, I mean, obviously in the wild, other things grow too, but you would think it'd be more choosy, but nope, they don't care. I guess that's why they call them weeds. Yeah, if you grow carnivorous plants long enough, you grow plants in general long enough, you will kill plants, and it's a crappy part of it, because I get very attached to them emotionally. But carnivorous plants are just like anything else. I mean, you could do everything right, have everything going, and then all of a sudden, just boop. I remember my first one was a Nepenthes that I killed, and man, I was so heartbroken. Like heartbroken is a strong word, but I was so bummed out because I was like, oh man, I could have, should have, would have. But yeah, if you grow them long enough, you're going to lose them, and then you start losing the real expensive ones. But for the most part, if you give them the care that they need, you'll have success with them. But it's just like any other plant; you will lose some. But yeah, oh gosh, I don't even know. I've been doing it for a while, but I off and on. But honestly, not as long as a lot of people. Yeah, I need to get them out of there. The thing is, we get this. Somebody told me one time it's called like jade grass or Indian grass or something like that, and it's got beautiful flowers on it. But man, it like crawls over everything and it takes over. And here in Florida, like I cannot tell. I'm not exaggerating when I tell you that it will literally go from nothing to you have to get a machete to get through things like in like in weeks. This stuff grows so fast. It's insane. That's awesome. Yeah, I definitely didn't start when I was that young. I wish I had because I could have had a lot more interesting experiences with these amazing plants. But definitely, that's what it's all about: is getting out there and getting the next generation growing them. This whole bed in general, I'm gonna have to redo the whole thing. The whole idea is to turn this all into a low growing Sarracenia bog, and so this has kind of become like a junk bog. But I certainly don't want to lose the plants that are in here, so I'll do some work on that. All right, y'all. I hope you have a wonderful day. I got to run, got to go eat dinner. I hope you guys have a wonderful day. And thank you so much for being a part of this. It is awesome, as always, to be able to spend time with you and talk carnivorous plants. Have a great night. Take care.